Welcome back, boys and girls. Another patch, another character to pull for. This time round, we're going to be looking at Tribbie. We'll talk about light cones and Eidolons and stuff like that when we get to the build section. Right now, we just got to get some pulls. So what's the goal? Super simple, one copy of Tribbie and then one copy of the light cone. That's what we're looking for. We have a ton of gems. I'm hoping that we won't have to dip too much into this and we can save a lot of them for my day. That's the plan. But yeah, without further ado, let's get going. So I don't think we have any pity, so we're going in raw. Skip that. 20. Oh, okay. This might be huge if we win this 50-50. I think we were really lucky with Aglaea. So I'm praying that we can get lucky here. Yeah, that hurts, man. Okay, it's not the worst thing in the world. It was a very early 5-star, so we're guaranteed the Tribbie. If we're gonna lose, we lose early. That's fine. Fine. I'll take that L. We're guaranteed now anyways. Man, I'm trolling. There we go. We got it. Let's just skip that. Okay, we got her. Oof. That was over 15,000, I think. It's light cone time. Light cone time. This one always scares me. Literally, I have chills right now. Goosebumps. But let's just get into it. Realistically, I don't think I'm going to be able to get this early or really save anything. Could have sworn. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We win these. I'm confident. I believe. Please. Please. We win these. I'm confident. I believe. I'm hoping that we won't have to dip too much into this and we can save a lot of them for my day. I've taken diabolical damage. This is unrecoverable. I had 30,000 gems. Holy shit. Bro, I'm devastated. Like, I'm genuinely devastated. I don't know. It's so funny because I said, you know, I'm gonna have enough for I'm gonna be able to not have to dip in, you know, get my day. It's gonna be great. And now I'm almost out from 30,000. There we go. There's just no joy in it, man. I'm devastated. I'm truly devastated. But yes, I will catch you guys when she's fully built in a bit. And we're back. It seems like we've been farming for a good while now. I think we've spent close to 10,000 energy if we take into account all of the farming we did for Aglaea, since they share a relic domain. So we had quite a few options. It wasn't the smoothest sailing, but let's get into it, right? So these are the stats we're working with. HP. This is a very important stat for her. It's basically her dump stat. So we want as much HP as possible. Between, I think, 5 to 7,000 is a good range. Within combat, she will have 8,500 because of her trace here. She gets a bunch of extra HP, which is great because all of her damage scales off HP. Speed, 88, as slow as possible. We'll talk about this when we talk about the builds. Crit rate, this is going to be 93% when we're in combat because of this. But we'll talk about that as well. And then crit damage, it hits around 300% when we're in combat. So, Tribbie as a character. She is honestly pretty decent when it comes to her personal damage, especially if you build a lot of stats. She can do quite a lot of damage from her follow-up, her ultimate itself, and then also her bonus damage because of this ultimate. It's similar to Robin in that every time you attack, you do a bit of bonus damage on top equal to Tribbie's HP. So her quote-unquote personal damage is actually really nice. It's actually really, really nice. We have two options when it comes to building Tribbie, right? The first option is slow Tribbie, which you can see is what I'm running. Now, the benefits of slow Tribbie is pretty simple. She's a character who doesn't require actions to be useful because all of her damage comes from the follow-up, her ultimate, and the bonus damage from her ultimate. She doesn't need to take actions herself, very rarely. So the slow build is a lot easier to build, obviously, because you don't need the speed stat and you can run this set, the Poet of Morning Collapse. You should have a lot of this set already if you've been farming for Aglaea and stuff like that, so you should have pieces. And yeah, it's a lot more damage than the fast build, personal damage, and the buffs last a lot longer. Now, the main downside is if you want to run the slow build, you either have to have this light cone, her signature, because it provides a good amount of energy and lets her get a turn 0 ultimate. Without this, you then need to look at your team comp, because if you're running a team comp which is attacking enough to make use of this passive here, then okay, you can still run slow, basically. You don't need the light cone. But essentially, if you get the light cone, then go for slow. If you don't have the light cone, look at the team you're running her with. If that team is attacking constantly, like the Herta team, then you can probably get away with like a dance, 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 and then run a sprightly one back. In terms of the fast build, if you can't fulfill those requirements, then you're going to have to run the fast build, which is you can't obviously run this Morning Collapse set anymore. The sets that you're going to be looking at are going to be Hacker and then Longevous Disciple, because it gives HP, it gives speed. You're kind of running whatever you can to get as much speed as possible, and then the stats are the same, right? And then the planar set, you can run Lushaka with the fast build, or you can run the Von Whack, because this is gonna let you ult first turn. It's as simple as that, just to get the ball rolling. So that's that. I went with the slow build. So let's get into that. Let's get into the pieces. Pretty nutty piece. Yeah, all about the crit rate. I needed to get as much crit rate as possible. In combat, you want to be 80 to 90%, right? That's just bog standard DPS stuff. She gets a ton from here, 32% crit rate. So you don't want to invest too much into crit rate, but you still need a good amount, at least like 60%, 60, 50%-ish. This piece, pretty decent. Like, attack, unfortunately, is kind of a dead stat. It would be much better if we had a HP percent, but This is still good. This piece, not the worst thing in the world. A lot of defense, which we don't need. It would have been better if we could get into like HP or HP percent, but unfortunately we kind of just have to deal with what we got. Boots. Unfortunately, this is a reroll boot for me, if I could, but I honestly don't think I can be bothered to waste a reroll on this. He already has really good stats anyways, but this is a terrible piece. These ones are... I spent quite a bit of energy farming this, but then I also generated quite a few from the synthesizer. It's an okay piece, you know, HP percent, crit damage here. And then lastly, this is a pretty good piece, pretty decent piece. A lot of HP, a lot of crit rate. So I really can't complain. So for the slow build, yes, run whatever's going to give you the best. I would say try get crit damage if you can. For boots, it's going to be HP percent. Yeah, there's no... You don't want anything else other than HP percent. Here, HP is always going to be best, but you can get away with a percentage damage. But that's only if things are very dire. And then the rope. You can only run HP if you have the light cone, because you need the energy regen from the energy regen rope. So yes, if you have the light cone, then you can run HP. So yeah, that is the build. Very, very simple. Let's kind of talk about light cone versus Eidolon. So at face value, the light cone looks insane. 36% crit damage, which is huge. You get a bunch of energy regen, and then your whole team gets 48% crit damage, which is really, really good. It's a solid light cone. But C1, or E1, sorry, is actually insane. It looks like it only does 24%, but it's actually, I guess, kind of bugged in the calculation, and the damage increase is actually ridiculous. So from a numbers perspective, if you had to choose, I would go Eidolon 1, like from a pure numbers perspective. But the light cone opens up so many build options, essentially. So you're gonna have to choose based on that. Okay, let's talk about teams, team compositions. The main one is obviously going to be this. Now, in an ideal world, this would be Jade. This can be Lingshot or Aventurine, whichever one you have or whichever one you prefer. And then Tribbie and the Herta. This team is ridiculous. Like, the Herta batteries Tribbie, which in turn batteries the Herta, and they just keep going off. You know, Serval is hitting over and over again, Lingshot is hitting over and over again. It's just a massive cycle of just tons and tons of damage. For things like, well, really AoE heavy situations, this team is ridiculous. It's just a cycle of death. Now, this is also a very, very strong team. Robin is usually in this spot, but Tribbie slots in really well as well, because Aglaea attacks so often. So these are the two solid teams. You can also run her in... You can run her in an Acheron team. And you can also run her in a Yun Li team. Basically, any team which attacks very frequently and in an AoE manner, she can slot in really well. Lastly, I'll give my pull opinion. I'd say she's a pretty good pull. Not a must pull, but a very good pull. She falls into the very strong support category. So, you know, Sunday, Robin, you have Ron May, and now you have Tribbie as well. She is super generic. You can slot her into pretty much any team and she'll work. But she is also very, very specialized in terms of what team she takes to the next level, that being the Herta and probably the upcoming DPS 2. So if you're interested in the rest of the 3.x characters, or you have the Herta and you really want to pump up the damage, she's a no-brainer pickup. If you already have Robin, then you can start to debate whether it's worth it, right? If you're really struggling and you don't want to, you can always run the Remembrance MC2. He's a solid character. So she's by no means a must pull, but she's a very strong pull and a very valuable pull for characters moving forward. And yes, I think she's going to make up that group of 4 with Sunday, Robin, Ranmei, and Tribbie now. So that's my opinion, and that's pretty much it. After this is going to be a showcase. I'm going to showcase Herta, and I'm going to showcase a team with Aglaea too. So stick around for that if you're interested. If not, I'll catch you in the next one. Feel free to like and subscribe. Peace.